Alright, so this current arc of Black Clover seems to have finally entered the end game. With the previous chapter, we had a recounting of Yami's tragic past, a time where as a child, he was made to live in abandoned buildings by his lonesome as the people of the Clover Kingdom shunned him on account of being a foreigner and because of his dark magic, what is believed to be a bad omen and an ominous power that brought misfortune to all that drew too close. However, everything would begin to change for him once he met Julius Novachrono, who at the time was the captain of the Grey Deer, who unlike everyone else he had met, was delighted by his dark magic. From there he would also meet Not and his brother Morgan, followed by what would eventually come to be a whole slew of interesting characters who all didn't mind Yami being a foreigner or his possession of dark magic. And with that, he was pretty glad that he had joined a brigade since he'd been given the opportunity to meet so many different kinds of magic knights, many of which possessed such strange magical abilities and were so odd themselves that his own dark magic didn't look so bad in comparison. And according to Morgan, even the scariest sort of magic could only be defined by the person who uses it, going on to say that Yami has a good eye for people and the power to bring them together, expressing that Yami would make for a great captain one day, a sentiment Yami would dismiss as to him, people like Morgan were the ones fit to lead. However, as we all know, Morgan did die to save his brother Not, who he felt Yami understood even better than he did, a remembrance that inspired Yami to proclaim that in time, he would in fact create his own brigade, that all the others were the sort to look out for the decent and brilliant sorts of mages, and so the ones not chosen by destiny, the ones that were lost or chained down or even held back by their past mistakes, he was going to be the one to give them a place where they could be free and belong. And to do that, he would need to get stronger in order to keep them all together. And in creating the Black Bulls, Yami did all that and then some. In the present, the Black Bulls had successfully defeated Morris, and Yami had woken up to the sound of their voices. He'd begin to laugh and question if they really liked him that much, as in response, they would all express their love for him, a roaring sentiment that as far as Yami was concerned was definitely mutual. Now Not, being perhaps the most reserved of them all, would express that they were all really reckless, yet even still they had his respect, as suddenly something would begin to shift. With this latest chapter, we would begin elsewhere as the people of the Spade Kingdom were in disbelief. Outside of the royal castle, Mereoleona would continue her battle against the ancient demon and was clearly overwhelming it, as apparently, with hellfire incineration, the more she fought, the greater her firepower became, as just like that she incinerated the creature, charring its head right off of its shoulders. The creature had been defeated, and what a staggering feat this was indeed. You have to understand that these demonic behemoths were designed with the combating of magic in mind. The entirety of the Clover Kingdom, with the exception of those currently on this mission, did their absolute best to thwart such an entity and failed miserably. With this triumph, Mereoleona proves herself to be one of the absolute strongest characters in this series, a sentiment which is only furthered by her ability to not only do this, but furthermore press on with the rebels to face the devil seeping into their world immediately after. Mereoleona is already beyond First Wizard King level and possesses even greater stamina than Asta. She is a monster, and I truly cannot wait to see what role she'll play in the story beyond this point. She held the seat of guild captain in her brother's stead previously, but perhaps she may be well suited to become the Clover Kingdom's first wizard queen as well. But getting back to the main event, Nozel Silva, Langris, and Patoli had now entered the fray as the Bulls continued to call out to their captain. But as they did, from the forehead of an incapacitated Morris would be the wicked words of the greatest devil, as he would politely applaud the efforts of his human puppet, as from him, a wellspring of hellish magic would spring forth and commence the opening of the underworld's second layer, as several hordes of lesser devils would begin to spill out into the mortal world. An incredible piece of artwork that I'm sure was all too demanding for a series that is serialized weekly. But of course Tabata is over here spoiling us with the greatness. Our heroes were terrified by this sudden shift, as Lucifero would explain that by squeezing the remaining life out of the tree's accelerant Morris, he was able to open the gate even faster. And what's more is that Lucifero has the ability to manipulate lesser devils, something we had previously seen him do with Libe, as an immeasurable number of fiends would emerge and now surround Yami and William, taking them away from the rest of the bulls. Meanwhile, from the exterior, Mereoleona and the others would see the sudden emergence from the castle as well. As now, with 2 layers of the underworld having opened up thanks to this mass possession, Lucifero could now begin to fully manifest into the mortal world himself, as the Spade Kingdom castle would break apart and become part of his massive form. His mere presence, even in this incomplete state, was enough to intensify the gravity for all those who drew close enough, forcing them to grovel before his awesome might. The bulls in retaliation would immediately make use of their various powers to the utmost degree. Fate manipulation, magic power recovery, mirror multiplication enough to make the eye bleed, mass transmutation, curse manipulation, and magic power absorption. The bulls were laying everything on the line because it was do or die at this point. To lose here would be the mass genocide of countless people. They didn't care if this was the strongest devil or not. All they knew was that he wasn't welcome here, as the bull would now, thanks to their combined efforts, grow several times larger and clock the monster right in what may be presumed to be its face as this major kaiju battle would commence, and that was the chapter. Oh my goodness guys, this series is just so much fun. We are seeing all of the bulls at their absolute best, and let me just say that once characters like Not, Noelle, and Asta get a chance to heal back up thanks to Charmy's recovery food, things are going to get real. We already know that Libe has a bone to pick with Lucifero, so I'ma need to see some madness. Trust me, the situation is going to get way worse before it gets any better, because no way does Lucifero stay ugly like this. We need to see what the king of the underworld looks like in the flesh. Now, there is of course still the looming question as to why Wizard King Julius was able to preemptively perceive this manifestation ahead of everyone else, all while being estranged from the ongoing conflicts of the Spade Kingdom, but I'm sure that we will learn all of that in due time. And with that, I have to furthermore question how and when will the time manipulation Supreme Devil come about as well? And at that, do we even care to see him if Lucifero is pulling up? I mean, Lucifero has the most stakes in this battle, considering he is the overlord of the entirety of the underworld, and we know that Libe has a bone to pick with him once more. So I don't really know where exactly the Time Devil will fit into all this, at least outside of speculation in regards to Wizard King Julius or the elder brother of the Dark Triad. But yeah, of course it is only a matter of time before we figure all that out, and hopefully you'll be here to enjoy all that with us here by subscribing to Plot Armor with notifications on. Because when it comes to bringing you some of the best Black Clover content on the platform, Plot Armor has you covered. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.